All right, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, many of you might have seen this interview that Jesse on Fire did with Belal Muhammad. I think it was posted yesterday. I've wanted to do a video on something regarding Jesse on Fire for a while because I used to be quite the avid viewer or listener, whatever you want to call it, of Jesse on Fire. And lately I feel he's been kind of, I don't know, ever since he hit 100,000 subscribers, he's kind of gone soft. And, perhaps it's just smart business. Obviously his channel is much larger than mine. He grew much faster than a lot of people would. I don't think that he is like a hardcore MMA fan, though, that he, makes himself out to be. I think he saw a hole or a giant hole in the market on MMA YouTube for kind of casual fans and thought that he could fill that market. And then he's like the casuals hardcore that they can listen to. And I've been debating with myself on whether or not to do this for a while because I didn't want to piss a bunch of people off. Like, if I have fans or listeners that are also listeners of Jesse on Fire, I'm not trying to isolate you and say that you shouldn't listen to this guy. I don't think you should pick one or the other. I think it's fine to get different opinions and viewpoints all over the place. And if you are somebody who is like a diehard fan of Jesse on Fire, just know I will make some jokes, okay? But I'm mostly going to go after his takes on MMA in general, and also a bunch of the things that they spoke about in this interview. I also want to know your guys' opinions. If I'm reaching, tell me. If you think that I'm bang on, tell me. If it's somewhere in between, tell me. Just let me know in the comments below. But yeah, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll just get right into it. Okay, so Jesse on Fire and Belal Muhammad in their interview appeared to be, kind of partaking in some Jeff Molina type activities, which I don't know how this works. If you're Muslim, is there some kind of like Muslim police that make sure that you're implementing Sharia law? Because if so, dude, Belal Muhammad was definitely committing some haram acts over there. They were just, gargling each other, but it was honestly super cringe. And you know what? I think this is why the podcast between Jesse on Fire and the MMA Guru didn't work out. And I don't want to act like I'm some like seer who can see into the future and shit like that, but when they announced that they were doing the podcast, I thought, man, I don't think this is gonna work. And at the time I was watching both of them. So I was like, these two people are completely opposites. Now maybe that will end up working, but they just don't strike me as the type. Like, the MMA Guru will make fun of everybody, almost to a point that is like distasteful to some. I don't mind it, but there's people that don't, for sure. Whereas Jesse on Fire like refuses to make fun of people, and he always says this thing like, I love everybody, man. He'll only make fun of people that he knows for a fact the entire MMA community hate, like Joshua Fabia, or I can't even think of really another, Mike Jackson, which is funny because that's relevant to what we're going to talk about later in this video. But when I saw that they had announced that, I went, man, like this is strange, because Jesse on Fire like reminds me of, he looks like if Jersey Shore casted a Foch albino guy, it would have been Jesse on Fire. Okay, the guy gets sunburnt from a spray tan. And I'm not joking. He gets spray tans, okay? And he gets sunburnt from them. And yes, dude, I look like a hobo, okay? So there's plenty of ammunition for somebody to make fun of the way I look. I'm just poking fun. He's extremely manicured with his hair, and he's always clean shaven, and his eyebrows look like they might even get done, which is, I've got big bushes, myself. So again, plenty of things you can make fun of me for. But compare him to the MMA Guru, it's like exact opposite. So I didn't think it was going to work. And I think that one of the reasons why it didn't end up working is because Jesse on Fire will not make fun of anybody in the MMA sphere that like has a following, or he talks to, or is somebody that he thinks he might talk to in the future. Like, I remember there was this one moment in their first podcast where the MMA Guru made fun of Diego Sanchez, and he kind of crossed his eyes and was clapping at him, pretending to be Diego watching slap fight, and I thought it was hilarious. But Jesse on Fire, no, man, Diego's my boy. He did not look happy at all. Pat Barry jokes, didn't like him, even though Pat Barry is like unequivocally and objectively a fucking creep, okay? And then he went on to defend grooming as long as you stay with the individual that you then groomed, okay? Which is very strange. That's a very strange take to have. But he basically admits he's a casual fan. Okay, he first of all, he didn't know who Diego Lima was, which I can understand, like an actual casual fan not knowing who Diego Lima was. But first of all, Diego Lima was on The Ultimate Fighter, which is like, you know. Anyways, his brother also incredible fighter from Bellator, like very well known to hardcore fans. But with that being said, he was talking about that fight with Belal Muhammad, or so he thought it was that fight, and he said, you know, the guy who kept calf kicking you over and over again, and I remember watching you won, and I thought to myself, wow, man, this is ridiculous. These guys' hands are so fast and accurate, and I thought, wait, did like Jeff Neal just take Belal Muhammad's place, or who are you fucking talking about, dude? Belal Muhammad, when he fought Diego Lima, that was a few years back, but he doesn't have fast and accurate hands fucking today. So what are we doing, dude? They're just doing that to each other. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that is like not something you would say about Belal Muhammad. You want to give him credit for something, give him credit for his pace or his takedown ability, or, you know, his ability to not let an opponent get back up or to continue to take them down like he did against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. You're going to say that Belal Muhammad has ridiculously fast and accurate hands? Huh? Dude, do you watch the sport at all? I could not believe it. First of all, he is one of those people that when he throws punches, he looks like Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena, like where we've talked about this before, where they look like they're running down a hill swimming through air. That's what their punches look like. Belal Muhammad, oftentimes, very top heavy, overextends. He's like, will be almost fucking bent over completely when he's throwing shots. Like, he is not a good, ridiculously fast and accurate striker, okay? That is fucking insane to me. But anyways, that was, I guess, just the tip going in, because there was more. He said that Belal Muhammad, they were talking about his fight with Leon Edwards, because he asked him about the eye poke and how bad it was and how long it took to recover from it and this and that. And, you know, that was a fucking nasty eye poke. That was one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Leon Edwards' finger was like fucking that deep in his eye, which is undoubtedly extremely painful and could definitely cause damage more than just a watery eye or whatever the fuck. But then he goes on to say, well, round one was like way closer than people think it was. When I watched that the first time, it was, I thought it was way one-sided. And then I went back and rewatched that round and blah, 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 blah. Leon Edwards objectively won that round. And not by a close margin. He fucking split Belal's head open with a head kick, like right now. Or maybe it was an elbow. But I remember he landed a head kick right off jump. And I was like, that was unbelievably fast. How did he fucking do that? And Belal Muhammad had a bunch of blood coming down his head and shit like that. And it wasn't like a fucking toss-up round, dude. Leon Edwards won the first round. Now, I will agree with them that because Leon Edwards won the first round does not mean he would win the entire fight. It's not necessarily a trend of how things are going to go moving on. But Jesse on Fire brings this up in one of the dumbest ways ever he could possibly do. He says, well, you know, I was there in the arena when Leon Edwards head kicked Kamaru Usman, and the only reason I bring that up is because, you know, he had a really great first round and then went on to get dominated for the next three. And I thought, okay. And so he was saying that, you know, Belal Muhammad very well could have given up the first round to Leon Edwards, but then could have gone on to dominate the next three rounds or whatever. And I thought, okay, as far as I remember, that fight took place in the Apex, in Las Vegas, right? Leon Edwards' second fight with Kamaru Usman took place in fucking Utah, right? I think Leon Edwards did a pretty good job at proving to us that it was, in fact, the altitude that affected his ability to fight rounds 2 through 4. When he then went and basically beat Kamaru Usman for 5 rounds straight. And maybe you can throw a round in there for Kamaru Usman, but that's at best, okay? I don't even think that Kamaru Usman won the round that Leon Edwards got the point deducted in, but regardless, they also continued to say that that was a very close fight and that fight could have gone either way. No, it fucking couldn't, dude. If that fight went to Kamaru Usman, if a judge gave that fight, dude, If the judges gave that fight to Kamaru Usman, that would be like that's an actual fucking robbery. I don't. There is it. You have to either hate Leon Edwards or I don't fucking know in order to score that fight for Kamaru Usman. There is no way that you can score that fight for Kamaru Usman. Like, mind blowing to me. And I really wish that they would stop comparing Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira to Usman versus Edwards too. It is not the fucking same. Because they did do that. Adesanya and Pereira was a close fucking fight except for round 3. Okay, round 1, very, very close up until Adesanya hurt him at the literal buzzer. Okay, round 2 was won by Alex Pereira. Round 3 was won by Israel Adesanya. Round 4 was edged by Israel Adesanya, but was a very close round. And then round 5, obviously, went to Alex Pereira. Not the same, okay? Alex Pereira wasn't dominated in the same fashion that Leon Edwards was. Now, that's kind of like a fucking whatever throwaway point. Not the biggest deal, but annoying, okay? Yeah. Then they went on to talk about like potential matchups and things like that. And Jesse on Fire was saying that if Jorge Masvidal knocks out Gilbert Burns, that would be similar to when he knocked out Ben Askren. Like, nobody will see that coming, and it'll be fucking whatever. Crazy, insane, all this shit. The odds makers think so clearly, right? The fight, Gilbert Burns is like a fucking minus 500 almost, dude. That might literally force me to pick Jorge Masvidal. I don't think that fight is that, like, one-sided, in my opinion. I think that it's Gilbert Burns has the edge by far on the ground, and Jorge Masvidal has a slight edge on the feet. Now, maybe the age will catch up and we'll see Jorge Masvidal be slow and sloppy and all this shit. There's a thing that he does sometimes that drives me crazy. I know that he's capable of throwing good, hard kicks. He'll do this little fucking lazy leg kick. And he did it against Colby Covington multiple times where he just kind of throws it and then leaves it out there after it goes through with its rotation. And then he'll be kind of sideways to his opponent with almost his back turned. And I'm like, dude, fucking pull that back right now. Don't do that, okay? But, so if he's doing shit like that, then fine. But Jorge Masvidal is a very good striker. And Gilbert Burns is a good striker, but he is not an amazing striker. Like, somebody put in my comment section the other day about how, because I said that Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns was a closer fight than people thought. And they said, well, Gilbert Burns went toe-to-toe with Khamzat Chimaev. Like, he's going to fucking ragdoll him or whatever the fuck. And I was thinking, dude, well, yeah, he did, okay. And it was a very close fight. But that fight reminds me a lot of, like, Chris Weidman versus Jacare Souza. You've got two incredible grapplers that realize they're going to negate each other on the ground. Let's not waste time and fucking gas ourselves out. Let's just strike. Khamzat Chimaev is not he's not a very technical fighter on the feet. His coach was screaming at him not to fucking brawl. You know what I mean? He was brawling. That's how he strikes. His shit's grappling. He realized, though, that Gilbert Burns was definitely a threat on the ground while he's off his back, regardless. Like, it didn't matter. Gilbert Burns is fucking dangerous on the back. So they went, no, we'll just fucking fight then, okay? But, man, it's not, like, an insane outcome that Jorge Masvidal could potentially finish Gilbert Burns. We've seen Gilbert Burns get finished due to strikes, not just at lightweight, which he did on a couple occasions, but at welterweight, obviously, to Kamaru Usman, right? Got dropped with the jab and then, you know, was having all sorts of issues. To be fair, he dropped Usman early in that fight, but slowly just went away from him. He also then went on to say this, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. This might be the most ridiculous thing he said in the entire interview, okay? He said, Belal is very good looking. Now, I'm not a guy who likes other guys, and I'm not a girl, so maybe I shouldn't comment on that. But to me, dude, Belal Muhammad is like a Shrek-looking motherfucker. The guy looks like an Easter Island statue. His head is what, dude? I just couldn't believe that he said that. It was very weird and a little sus. And then he went on in the comments to be self-deprecating, in fairness to him, and say, well, I meant compared to me, which is a low bar, which was kind of funny. But and then he said he's marketable in about 8 different ways. I don't know, man. I can think of one, right, that he's very much leaning into by going to Abu Dhabi and training, dressing up in the whole garb and shit like that. Like, he's His identity is that he's like Muslim. Like that's I haven't what other and I'm not saying that to be like deprecating, but like Habib was huge in the Muslim market, right? Islam Makhachev's huge in the Muslim market. Uh, just whatever it is, what it is. Anybody that's last name is Nurmagomedov is huge in the fucking in the Muslim market. Bilal Muhammad, dude's got the prophet's name in his fucking name, is marketable to them. And if he's going to continue to, claim racism and fucking isolate people based on their skin color and go after people for being white, then he's not marketable in 8 different ways. Because he's fucking, shooting holes in the other markets. Anyways, I thought that was weird. And by the way, as soon as they brought up that his marketability, the very only thing that Bilal Muhammad, he said, I am marketable in many different ways. I'm Muslim, and Habib, was Muslim, but he was still Russian. So imagine me being like Arabic and Russian. I think it could even be bigger than that. And I went, what the fuck? Okay, dude. So again, like low-key racism. I don't care, dude. White people, I got thick skin, man. Maybe not like literally speaking, because we cut easier than other skin colors and we bruise easier than other skin colors and things like that. But in terms of people making, I don't give a shit, dude. Fucking have at her, bro. But I think that it should all be, you should be able to make fun of whoever the fuck for whatever the fuck. So anyways, but he basically says that Habib, he could be more popular than Habib because he was a white Muslim and I'm not, is basically what he said. Because to me, Russian people are white, and that'll, there's another point that goes into that in a second, okay? Yeah, I said that him saying Bilal was good looking was the most ridiculous thing he said. I think this may have been. Now, they were talking about the potential matchup between him and Shavkat Rakhmonov, which Bilal made pretty fucking clear. Sorry, my nose is itchy, dude. That he does not want to fight Shavkat Rakhmonov. He wants to fight Kamaru Usman. And I don't blame him, dude. Because I see that fight only going one way. Like, actually, I don't think that there is anywhere. Dude, what the fuck? My nose is itchy as shit, dude. I don't think there is anywhere that he could beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. And Shavkat is huge compared to him, okay? So that's... Sorry about that, one thing. But another thing is, like... Dude, I'll just tell you what he said, okay? I'm going to agree with him on this point. Shavkat Rakhmonov does need to work on his head movement a little bit, okay? But it's not like Jeff Neal landed at like an 80% clip or anything like that. Like, he slipped a lot of shots. And he also clearly knows he's got a good chin. He also rolls with shots very good. Jesse on Fire was correct here. He said that he is very offensive-minded. He is. That's true. That's very true. But he does have good defense. And while you could see him getting hit a lot, I wouldn't just attribute that to a lack of head movement. I would also attribute that to Jeff Neal's ability to land shots. Jeff Neal is a very underrated striker, okay? My voice just went away there. I don't know what's going on with my fucking insides, but Jeff Neal cuts angles. He counters very well. He's very technically sound. He's defensively minded. He is very good, okay, at striking. He's very underrated. Dude, this is insane. He said that he sees 2 people being able to beat Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he says that it's going to be people who are willing to stand in the pocket and trade huge hooks. And he says that those 2 people are Gilbert Burns, which, fine, dude, fine. That'd be a good fight. Gilbert Burns was Khamzat Chimaev's toughest test and hurt him multiple times in their fight. And Bilal Muhammad. Huh? He said that Bilal Muhammad would be able to stand in the pocket with Shavkat Rakhmonov and throw mean hooks. I don't even know if Bilal Muhammad is capable of throwing a hook. He throws breaststrokes. That's what he throws, dude. He's not a striker. What the fuck are you talking about, Jesse on Fire? Like, say you're a casual without saying you're a casual. Not to mention, he prefaced this with saying, we just watched Shavkat Rakhmonov have an amazing performance against Joff Neal. If John Anik isn't calling him Joff, his name's not Joff, okay? Because they all get the fucking enunciation or pronunciation, whatever, of the fucking fighters' names said by the fighter in one normal speed soundtrack and then a slowed down soundtrack so that they know how to pronounce a fighter's name correctly. If John Anik is not calling him Joff, his name's Jeff, okay? End of discussion. He prefaced it by saying that he had a very good performance against Jeff Neal, but that he showed a lack of head movement in that fight and that he is so offensively minded. Okay, great. Jeff Neal is fucking leaps and bounds above Belal Muhammad in the striking department. So much so to the point where Belal Muhammad, at whatever fucking age he's at right now, has no chance in hell of catching up to ever being anywhere close to Jeff Neal in the striking department, okay? And also, dude, I think Belal Muhammad's last loss, actually I fucking know this, was to Jeff Neal. 30-27 decision. Not even close. So, dude, I would argue Shavkat Rakhmonov beating Jeff Neal is more impressive than if Shavkat Rakhmonov was to go out there and beat Belal Muhammad. But okay, dude, it is what it is. Jeff Neal's just had health problems and shit like that. And then, of course, too, his fight with Wonderboy, which did come very shortly after he had congestive heart failure. But also, styles make fights, right? Jeff Neal is not a fucking guy who's going to take you down and hold you there for fucking 3 rounds. He's going to try and strike with you. And, you know, we've seen time and time again that when guys decide they want to just stand and fucking strike with Wonderboy, it does not go their way, like, almost ever. So, okay, very weird. And then also, dude, I want to bring this up because this goes to this point as well. They're acting like because he finished Sean Brady is why he would be able to, like, potentially KO a guy like Shavkat Rakhmonov. First of all, Sean Brady is, like, exclusively a grappler, okay? Secondly, he is clearly nowhere near the level of a Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'm not going to say he sucks because Belal keeps getting mad. He says, oh, well, when I beat Sean Brady, people are saying that he sucks now. I don't think he sucks. I think that they gave him a big jump because he beat Michael Chiesa. And he just wasn't ready for it. And he's not well-rounded enough. He's only good in one department. And so much so to the point where Belal Muhammad was beating him on the feet. But that finish was not a fucking KO. Belal Muhammad doesn't have crazy power. He's not going to sleep Shavkat Rakhmonov with a fucking hook that he throws. There was a standing TKO. After almost 2 full rounds, Sean Brady had clearly gassed himself out, probably had a huge adrenaline dump as well, and I'm not making excuses for him. This is shit that you, as a professional fighter, have to fucking manage, okay? He's a big, muscled up dude. It was his first time in, like, real spotlight, kinda, and Belal Muhammad finished him. A standing TKO. I don't even think he dropped the guy. I can't remember that fight perfectly off the top of my head, but I know that when it finished, Sean Brady was still on his feet. And by the way, if you want to go look for it, because Belal Muhammad's record shows that he has 5 KOs, okay? First of all, they're all TKOs, pretty sure. However, he's only got 2 in the UFC. You got to go back 7 years to find his last one. Before Sean Brady, obviously. 2016 is when you last knocked a guy. Also, against a guy who's no longer in the UFC. I can't even remember the dude's fucking name. I'm pulling a Jesse on Fire here, but, like, actually, the guy's not even, I don't even know if he fucking, I don't know what he does, dude. But he ain't knocking dudes out. I don't understand where this sentiment is coming from. You're going to knock out Shavkat Rakhmonov. If Jeff Neal ain't knocking out Shavkat Rakhmonov, Belal Muhammad sure as fuck is not knocking out Shavkat Rakhmonov. I don't understand where that logic comes with, but okay, dude. He said nuclear hooks, too. That was the quote, which is like, huh, dude? Nuclear, dude? Nuclear hooks? Really? Okay. Something else that Jesse on Fire mentioned, and this is something that I actually have problems with. He only fucking likes the most famous fighters that, like, casual fans know and love. He wants Conor McGregor to get a USADA exemption. He keeps talking about that. It drives me fucking nuts. Shut up. Enough with that. That is stupid and silly. The last time that happened was Brock Lesnar, and there was a whole motherfucking lawsuit about it. And he's unironically hoping that they stick a fucking juiced up Conor McGregor, who has somehow managed to pass 2 tests, in with a guy like Michael Chandler, who may or may not be using. I don't think so, because he doesn't have both cardio and the muscle. He's a big muscled up dude who tends to gas in the later rounds, and he works really hard, and he's a short, stocky guy. I think it's just like genetics, and obviously hard work, obviously. But who he also is like his boy. He says he texts him on a regular basis. He's boys with Chandler. Why the fuck would you want the UFC to give Conor McGregor an exemption and stick him in there juiced up with a guy who you claim is your boy, right? When Mark Hunt had a very good argument when that happened. You guys put me in there with a fucking animal. He could have killed me. And you let that happen because you wanted to make money. Come on, dude. No. USADA should absolutely be testing him the way that they test everybody else, dude. You can't do that. You can't play favorites like that, okay? USADA's corrupt as is. You think they're going to make it that fucking... Dude, they're acting like USADA wants to try and catch him now. Bro. USADA wants to make the illusion that they're trying to catch him. Now, USADA changed the fucking rules leading up to John Jones's return regarding picograms. Do you guys think that was because new science came through? Or do you think that was because John Jones was coming back and they figured he's probably going to pop for fucking picograms, so we better change the rules so we don't screw over another John Jones event, because that happens a lot, okay? Man. Now this part really got to me, okay? Oh, dude, does anybody think that this was a coincidence that Jesse on Fire just fucking got this interview right after he did a video defending Ali Abdelaziz from Bloody Elbow? Like, I fucking hate Bloody Elbow, but I also fucking hate Ali Abdelaziz. That guy's a fucking dirtbag, and he's a goof. He's cringe as fuck. I will say he gets his fighters good deals. He's clearly a decent manager, but he's cringe as shit, dude. And then he also posted on his fucking... You can do community posts when you have a channel or whatever, right? And he did something about how Ethan Klein went after Andrew Tate. Now, I fucking hate Ethan Klein. This is why it pains me that I feel like Jesse on Fire has gone in this direction. I used to watch him religiously, more so his other channel, though. Jesse on Everything, which he got rid of, by the way. I agree with him on a lot of things regarding that side, like politically and shit like that. His MMA takes, though, I don't fucking care for much, which is why I was more an avid watcher of his other channel. But he said in his fucking community post that he finds that Ethan Klein was being very disrespectful towards Muslims and blah 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 blah. Since fucking when do you care, first of all? Second of all, dude, I don't know about you guys. I don't have very strong opinions on Andrew Tate. I don't, like, I just don't, okay? It's not something that I care about. I have 2 kids. I'm busy, okay? I don't care. That being said, though, I don't think he's like this fucking evil demon that the one side makes him out to be. Do you guys think that his conversion to Islam was really legitimate? He just wanted to become Islamic or Muslim or whatever? Or do you think he was trying to create, and this is brilliant if this was the case, so I'm not shitting on him. Do you think he was trying to create a shield so that if anybody were to ask him publicly about his views on women's, he could just say, well, you're being Islamophobic, I'm a Muslim. These are traditional values that I hold, and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, right after he does a video fucking defending Ali Abdelaziz and has Belal Muhammad on his fucking channel, all of a sudden we see Jesse on Fire in one of those fucking red whatever they are with the white robe. It's just like, come on, dude, honestly. But the part that really got to me, this is why I actually did this, is they started talking about the whole racism thing where Belal said that Colby Covington's getting the shot because he's white and that there's racism at play and all this and that and whatever. He may pretend like that was a fucking joke now or a way to bug people and shit like that. He unironically believes that, in my opinion. Like, I believe that 1,000% that he believes it. He said multiple things over the course of this interview that would believe me or lead me to believe that he thinks this, okay? But Jesse on Fire pretending like he thinks this is funny and like a good, like, whatever, is fucking cringe as shit, dude. Because he, for those of you who know, if you've watched his other channel before, or if you've seen his other takes on people, he is more than willing and actually usually happy to go after people that claim this kind of shit, okay? Mike Jackson, when it came to him and Jake Shields, he did a whole video on him going over shit that he's posted on Twitter, talking about how disgustingly racist he is and all this shit, unironically a black supremacist, which he is, okay? I'm not disagreeing with him there. Then he also does a video where he goes after Jeff Molina, which he deleted, by the way. He didn't really go after him, but he was making fun of him like I did, but I left my video up. He deleted it. He did a video going after the people that were upset about Nate Marquardt tweeting about the gay commercial on ESPN. And he deleted that as well. And then he said in another video that he deleted it because he lost 30 subscribers. Guy, you've got over 100,000 subscribers and you lost 30 of them. You don't view that as like you're kind of weaning out your audience? Like, let's get rid of the fucking radicals? Or what do you... I don't know how he views that. But my point is that he is very quick to go after anybody that claims like a phobia. Like, you know, oh, they're homophobic, they're transphobic, all this shit. Racism. Any of the like things you'd expect from, you know, the woke, whatever, woke people. He goes after them. When it's Belal Muhammad, all of a sudden it's just a fucking joke. Dude, enough of that. And then he even says that Colby acting like he was upset about that was fucking hilarious, because he goes, I'm pretty sure Colby said racist things to Tyron Woodley, and I found it fucking hilarious then, and I find it hilarious now. No, he didn't. He didn't do that. Tyron Woodley showed up to their fight for the press conference and all the media obligations and decked out in fucking BLM gear, okay? And I think now, after a few years removed, if you are not going to separate the organization from the words, just the words together, Black Lives Matter, from the BLM organization, you are being dishonest, okay? We know how corrupt that organization was. Some of us knew it then, and more people know it now, okay? Jesse on Fire is wrong. Colby Covington called out the organization, BLM, and he made that very fucking clear. And he said that they are a domestic terrorist group, which, by the way, that was a fucking bell that a lot of conservative Americans were ringing. If you don't remember, there were insane riots in 2020, billions of dollars in property damage. He went after the organization. He did not go after Tyron Woodley for being black. But the media sure as shit acted like he did. They went fucking crazy. BT Sports went after him. Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell went after him. Fucking Ariel Helwani probably went after him. Maybe not, because he's a shapeshifter just like Jesse on Fire. Dude, people went fucking nuts. I didn't see anybody upset about what Belal Muhammad said, except maybe a few YouTubers and like Colby Covington. But this is why I think he's unironically... Dude, he goes, have you ever seen the movie The Great White Hope? And Jesse on Fire's like, yeah, man, I did. And he talks about Colby Covington being the Great White Hope. This is why I know it's not a joke, dude. He unironically thinks this. And then he says one of the dumbest fucking things he could possibly say. When was the last time the UFC had a white champion? They want one really badly. Well, currently, sir, there's 2 of them. And one of them you're teammates with, unless you don't count Russians white, because some of them are Muslim. Like, to me, Russians are white. I don't know about you guys. Let me know if you think I'm fucking off there. They're from the, like, Caucasus or whatever the... I don't know. Dude, Russian people are white to me, okay? Am I fucking off here, dude? Islam Makhachev's from Russian, okay? He's one of your teammates. He's fucking white. He's white, bro. Also, the guy that he fought in his last fucking fight... Hey, Belal, he's white, dude. There's 2 white champions currently. You're teammates with one of them, and the other guy was the one that fought your fucking teammate. You imbecile. Okay? Jesus Christ, dude. And then he tries to blame people for getting upset at what he said is cancel culture. And that's not what it is, dude. When people... It's hypocrisy that people get upset about. It's hypocrisy. It's not that people were trying to cancel you, you fucking imbecile. He's saying that... Dude, you were the one who was, like, trying to get people upset. Not at you, though. You wanted people upset at the situation that Colby Covington was getting another title shot. And you wanted people to think that it was because he was white. And you put that out there in the fucking ether. And, you know, whether or not people picked up what you were laying down or whatever is, you know. But it's not cancel culture, dude. Nobody tried to fucking cancel you. They were just calling out hypocrisy when they see it, okay? So, enough with that, dude. Enough of that. And anyways, this is the end of this video. This video's gone on way longer than I thought it was. There was a lot of stupid points that got made, though. And, like, again, dude, I'm not trying to isolate Jesse on Fire fans. I used to watch him a lot. I have had a hard time watching him lately. Because I feel like he just panders to whoever's in front of him. And... I don't like that. I don't like when Ariel Helwani does it. And Ariel Helwani catches a lot of flack for it, to be honest. He gets called a shapeshifter. And he is, dude. He is. He will talk shit with Belal Muhammad about Colby Covington getting the shot, and then you'll have Colby Covington on his show and be like, "Look, look, look," which is haram, you guys. So stop, okay? I just, I don't know, man. It made me upset when I was listening to this interview, and yeah, whatever. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys think I'm off, or if I'm reaching here, or if I'm fucking whatever. And to Jesse on Fire fans, don't be too upset, man. I didn't go really hard at him. I'm going after his takes more or less, and I'm also going after what Belal Muhammad said. But I felt that if I didn't talk about this, I would be doing what it annoys me that Jesse on Fire does, which is not actually calling something out when they see it. So anyways, like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I'll thank you in advance because I'm Canadian, so thank you very much for your subscription. I will see you at the next video. Bye bye.